Hey everybody, welcome. Andrew Ainsworth Golf Academy. Welcome back to more reviews on an exciting day for me, and the new Mizuno JPX 900 iron range has just come through. All my fitting heads have arrived. I don't actually have the clubs in stock yet, but being a Mizuno fitting centre, I get the fitting heads ahead of the release date, which in the UK is September the 5th, 2016. Today's date is the 24th of August, and I've just received the 900 heads, of which there are 3 of. We've got the Tour, we've got the Forged, and I've got this one, which is what I'm going to do the review on today. This is a really exciting club for me. This is the new 900 hot metal iron. Now, lots to talk about on this iron. There is some real groundbreaking technology going on in this club. The thing I love about Mizuno, and there are many things I love about them as a company, is their groundbreaking technology. The amount of time they spend making new clubs. And last year, a couple of years ago, they came up with this infusion of boron into their forged clubs, which apparently took them about 6 years to develop. And the boron enabled them to keep the feel of a forged club. The boron produced slightly faster ball speeds off the face. 6 years in development. Apparently they had that model almost ready, but they weren't quite happy with it. Real sticklers of Mizuno for perfection, so they dropped it and started again, and it took them 6 years to get this process. Anyway, Mizuno have come up with another completely new material. It's called chromoly. Now, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. Chromoly, but it's spelled C-H-R-O-M-O-L-Y, chromoly, and it's a new material. So looking on their website and on their vlogs and stuff like that, it's called Chromoly 4140M is this material. What it does is it produces, I'm just going to chuck this over here, a very, very thin face. So incredibly thin face, which we've seen before on other clubs. Now, when the face is quite thin, imagine the trampoline effect that we can get. Because the face is thin, it actually kind of bends and then shoots the ball off, producing higher ball speeds. This is kind of what we see in titanium drivers, you know, very, very thin face which flexes and shoots the ball off quicker. Several years ago, excuse me, that was regulated, and we now have a regulation on how fast the ball can come off there. But iron manufacturers such as Mizuno have really been working on seeing how thin they can make this face so that it flexes and shoots the ball off. So this club primarily is all about, not all about distance, but one of its big selling points is distance. It's a distance machine. Very interesting on the Mizuno website, it calls it, which made me smile, offensive ball speeds, which is an interesting word to use, isn't it? Offensive. There we go. That's what they've called it, not me. So to look at, you know, it's definitely out there as a sort of a cavity back club, as you can see. There's plenty of weighting on the perimeter of it. We've got the chamfered off leading edge, which we've seen on quite a few other Mizuno models. Fairly wide sole, you know, not massively thick, and this sole will thin out a little bit as it gets into the wedges. Interesting thing just to talk about the wedges, they're using a slightly softer material. Let me just check my notes. It's called the X30 steel. So they do a 50 degree, a 55 degree and a 60 degree wedges, which fits into this range. It can be sort of incorporated and bought separately, but it's a softer steel, so it does produce a little bit more spin and a little bit more feel. Just going back to this chromoly material, not only is it a very thin face, but it's also bendable. And what we mean by that is, if you buy a set of forged irons, forged clubs are quite soft, unlike maybe a cast head, which is kind of fixed. So with a forged head, you can put them in loft and lie machines, and you can bend the clubs around. So you can alter the loft of the club, strengthen it, weaken it. We can change the lie of the club. So it's got this flexibility to move. So this is what this new material does. It produces high ball speeds, but it's also bendable. So it gives us this little bit more degree of customization. So it's a little softer. So that's a great thing to have. I have a loft and lie machine over there, and I could put this 6 iron in my loft and lie machine. I could move the lie by a degree, I could make it a bit more upright, I could change the loft by a degree or two, so I could kind of fine tune that if I needed to do that. So, a lot going on there, isn't there? Let's have a look at some numbers. I did hit some balls earlier to try and get you guys and girls some numbers to look at. I was hitting it with the Dynamic Gold S300. There are some shaft upgrades this year. I'll do a separate video on that to tell you all about it. So club speed varied a little bit. Averaged about 88, 89 miles an hour, which is pretty good for me. That's about as hard as I would swing a 6-iron. And I've got to admit, I was trying to go for this a little bit. I was trying to hit them sort of fairly hard. Highest ball speed I had coming off there was 124 miles an hour. Let's look at carry distances. The run out distances were interesting. I mean, one of them ran out to just shy of 200 yards. Now, run out distances, as you can appreciate, will depend on elevation, wind conditions, ground conditions when the ball hits the ground. So I don't pay too much attention to run out. What I'm interested in is carry distance. And I averaged there just shy of 180 carry. Now I was hitting the JPX 900 Tour. Oh, one thing to tell you, loft on this. No official figures yet on the website, but I put it in the loft and lie machine. It's pretty much, because what I could see, 28 degrees. So the JPX 900 Tour, which I've done a review on, 30 degrees, 2 degrees stronger, which is fairly consistent with very consistent with previous models like the 850, 2 degrees stronger, as we'd expect. So it's going to give us more distance because it's half a club stronger. So around about 179, 180 carry, which is pretty powerful. How easy was it to hit? Very, 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 very forgiving. If you're looking for a club which is going to give you some help, give you some distance, make golf kind of fun, you know, if you're not worried too much about a thin top edge and a forged club per se, you just want something that really looks playable but is going to help you, then fantastic club. It really is a very easy club to hit. If I wasn't playing a lot of golf, which I don't, strangely enough, and I wanted a set of irons which I could just pick up, if I hadn't played golf maybe for 2 weeks, I was rusty and I wanted a club which was really going to help me hit some good shots, I would go straight to something like this, because it does give you a lot of flexibility on strike. You know, I could hit it high down, low in the face, high in the toe, you know, and still get some good results from it. So it's very, very flexible. It's very forgiving. It's a great club. I'm going to do a review at some stage with a graphite shaft in here, because if we whacked a graphite shaft in here, which is lighter, the club speeds were going to go up, you know, and if I could get the club speed up, let's just say maybe to 93, 94, 95 miles an hour, these would be going an obscene distance through the air. Now, I don't always base a golf club purely on distance. It's impressive when a ball goes a long way, but I'm more looking at dispersion and consistency. But for a lot of golfers, if they could pick up 10 yards extra with an iron, you know, so rather than hitting a 5-iron in, you're hitting 6-iron, great. Doesn't do any harm, does it? So we shouldn't get too obsessed with distances. It is certainly something you should consider in an iron, but I wouldn't make distance the primary thing that you think about when you're buying a golf club. There are other things to think about as well. So there it is, the JPX 900 hot metal iron. It's an amazing range, this, folks. I'm enthusing a lot about this range at the moment, maybe a little bit over the top about it, but I'm very excited. You know, as a Mizuno fitter, you know, products like this, when a new range comes in which is as good as this, it's very exciting for me, because a lot of my livelihood, a lot of my business comes from fitting golf clubs, and when I truly believe that a product is great, it's very easy for me to sell it, because I truly, truly believe that it's a great product. And I feel with this 900 range, I could fit anyone from almost a new golfer, new to the game, right through to an elite player playing off scratch or a plus handicap. There's a club in this range which fits every type of golfer. There's a shaft in there which fits them. We can really custom make this club to make a beautiful set of irons. Great, so I'm going to go and play a little bit more with these clubs. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to know from people in America and Canada when they're expecting it to come out. I'm not September the 5th. It gets launched in this country, in the UK. I'm not sure if it's a worldwide launch date, or you know, if you guys in the States have already got it, or if it's coming later. So let me know. Thanks for watching. All the best.